Part 128. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1271. Chapter 1271. Shenro is the mastermind behind this matter. A look of fear finally appeared on Jiao Angzhen's face. Mom, no, MRS by, I didn't mean it. Seeing that the matter was exposed, Jiao Angzhen turned pale with fright and took 2 steps back. How so? How so? Didn't I say that they couldn't find anything at all? Why does MRS by know everything? Mom, have the test results come out? There were footsteps behind me, accompanied by the maid's respectful voice, Master, Mr. Mo. Jiao Mian saw Mo Yesi and Bai Yusheng walking over together. Bai Yusheng had a sullen face and no warmth in his eyes. When he walked in front of Jiaoan, he stopped. He lowered his head, his eyes as if hardened by ice. Jiao Angzhen, you are very courageous. You even dare to deceive people from the Bai family. Who gave you the courage, Shenro? Hearing Bai Yusheng's voice, Jiao Angzhen raised her head and met his cold eyes, which were filled with fear. She was so frightened that she couldn't help but step back. As she backed away, she shook her head and said, I didn't. It's not what I wanted to do. Yes, it was Shenro. It was Shenro who asked me to do this. As if she had suddenly grasped a life-saving straw, she immediately tried her best to excuse herself. It's really not what I wanted to do. It was Shenro who found me. She told me that she could make me the daughter of the Bai family. Ask me if I want to. I was scared at first, and I rejected her. However, she repeatedly assured me that this matter was absolutely certain and would not be discovered. She is the eldest lady of the Shen family, and I can't afford to offend her, not to mention. Besides, if given the opportunity, who wouldn't want to be the daughter of the Bai family? Who would refuse the opportunity to become a master? Jiao Angzhen raised her head tremblingly, her eyes red, but, if she hadn't found me, I wouldn't do that at all. Shenro is the mastermind behind this matter. I lied to you, but I have to listen to her. She is someone I can't afford to offend. Bai Yusheng sneered, you mean, you didn't know about the things about our Bai family until Shenro found you? Yes, she told me all that. Jiao Angzhen, you still want to lie. Bai Yusheng's eyes were filled with coldness. You obviously knew about this matter first, and you went to find her. How could Shenro know those things about the Bai family? Still know so much in detail. Even Jiao Mianmian's birthmark was clearly visible. No, I really don't know. Jiao Angzhen shook her head desperately. She was so frightened by Bai Yusheng that she almost cried, and her voice was trembling. She really told me. She found me and told me those things matter. Master Bai, believe me. I really didn't lie. Shenro told me. If she hadn't told me such private things about your Bai family, how would I have known about it? Bai Yusheng originally thought she was lying. But judging from her reaction, it didn't look like she was lying. He frowned and his eyes darkened. Could it be that Shenro really told her? But how did Shenro know those things? Even he only learned that his sister had a birthmark not long ago. Just after Jiao Angzhen finished crying, Bai Yusheng suddenly saw a maid standing in the hall with a strange expression. After meeting his eyes, the maid immediately lowered her head with guilt. Bai Yusheng had doubts in his heart, but he didn't think much about it. He quickly thought of something very important. He looked at Jiao Angzhen with sharp eyes. Whose blood did you use for identification? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1272. Chapter 1272. Do you think she is a good person? Jiao Angzhen was stunned and couldn't help but look at Jiao Mian aside. She bit her lips tightly, and the hatred in her eyes couldn't stop showing. Even if she failed this time, she would not let Jiao Mian, a little bitch, have the opportunity to fly up a branch and become a phoenix. I have no idea. She lied, everything was arranged by Shenro. I just followed her arrangements and did things according to her instructions. I didn't know anything. Bai Yushen naturally wouldn't believe her words. His eyes became colder again, and the chill in his eyes made people shudder. Do you not know, or do you not want to say it? Master Bai, I really don't know. Jiao Angzan endured the fear in her heart and turned her jealous eyes away from Jiao Mian. She lowered her head and did not dare to look at Bai Yushen. I am just helping Shenro with things, I will do whatever she asks me to do. Others, I really don't know anything else. You think we won't know if you don't tell us? Bai Yushen didn't look at her again, and walked past her to Jiao Mian, I suspect they took your blood for identification. So, I want to do the identification again, can you? Yushen, I have asked Mian to do the appraisal. Mrs. Bai looked at Jiao Angzan coldly, wait a few more hours and you can get the appraisal results. Jiao Angzan raised her head suddenly. They actually did a paternity test on that little Jiao Mian? Jiao Angzan naturally knew whose blood she took for identification that day. She also knows very well who is the real daughter of the Bai family. She thought that the Bai family wouldn't know if she didn't tell. But now, the Bai family asked Jiao Mian to do a paternity test. Jiao Mian is the real daughter of the Bai family. Once the paternity test results come out, all the truth will be revealed. It doesn't matter whether she says it or not. Aware of this, Jiao Angzan's face instantly turned ugly. Why, she has obviously succeeded, but now she becomes like this. Why, Jiao Mian, a little bitch, has done nothing but can easily get everything she dreams of. Why? Why does God treat her so unfairly? The intense jealousy and unwilling anger finally became uncontrollable at this moment and swallowed up her reason. Jiao Angzan suddenly burst out. She turned around and her eyes full of hatred fell on Jiao Mian. Yes, that's right, Jiao Mian is the real daughter of your Bai family. I took her blood for identification. But so what? Sample. You think I'm not good? Do you think she is a good person? Do you think that all the black stuff that was posted on the internet was framed and spread by others? She is the best at pretending to be innocent, pretending to be weak and harmless. It seems that she has done nothing wrong, and it is always other people's fault, and it will always be the fault of others. It's others who are harming her and bullying her. But she is not what you see on the surface at all. She was unwilling to give in. She is really unwilling. Why should Jiao Mian be better than her in everything? When she was a child, she and Jiao Mian were in the same school. They were obviously two sisters, but it was always Jiao Mian who was praised the most. They praised Jiao Mian for her good looks, her good academic performance, and her lovable personality. She is obviously not bad either. She has also received a lot of praise, and many people like her. But once she is with Jiao Mian, she will become the one who is ignored. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1273. Chapter 1273. She is not allowed to step into the Bai family again. Everyone's eyes will only notice Jiao Mian. Even if someone noticed her, they would only say that she looked different from Jiao Mian. I always think Jiao Mian is prettier than her. Even the boy she likes, whom she regards as a male and who she dare not approach, also likes Jiao Mian. After that, she and Jiao Mian were admitted to the same university. A boy she had a crush on fell in love with Jiao Mian again. That's not all. She chased a boy who she thought was good enough, but she couldn't catch him despite all her efforts. Chiao Mian, however, fell in love with Suzy without spending any thought or energy. Suzy was in much better condition than the boy she was chasing at the time. At that time, the imbalance in her heart became more and more intense. Everything she wants requires her to work hard to win. As for Chiao Mian, she can get it easily. She spent 2 years of hard work and finally succeeded in snatching Suzy over and turning him into her man. She thought she finally won. She thought that from now on, Chiao Mian would be her defeat. She thought that Chiao Mian would never be able to stand up again. I didn't expect that. Chiao Angzan's eyes were red, and her resentful gaze turned to Mo Yesi. The man she never dared to dream about turned out to be Chiao Mian's boyfriend. The Mo family is the top wealthy family in Yuncheng. How can that little Chiao Mian deserve such an outstanding man? Is it just because of her charming face? Why are all these men so superficial? Suzy is like this, and even men like Mo Yesi are like this. Master Mo, what do you like about Chiao Mian? Chiao Angzan gritted her teeth and said angrily, do you just like her face? You think she is still some innocent and beautiful girl, but let me tell you, in fact, she has been played to death a long time ago. She has been dating Suzy for 2 years. Do you think Suzy can stop touching her? It's not just Suzy, she used to. Chiao Angzan suddenly felt as if someone was strangling her neck. The words she was about to say choked on her throat when she came into contact with Mo Yesi's deep black eyes, which were so cold that there was no trace of warmth. She saw the murderous look flashing through Mo Yesi's eyes. Kick her out immediately, Madame Bai said with a livid face. You robbed Mian's fiancé, and now you are pretending to be her identity and want to rob her biological parents. You are such a vicious woman. You bullied Mian like this, and now you are saying bad things about her. In front of us, you dare to treat her like this. One can only imagine how sinister and vicious you must be behind your back. For a vicious woman like you, I will never do it again. I don't want to see you either. Kick her out quickly, and she will never be allowed to step into the Bai family again. As soon as Mo finished speaking, bodyguards came forward and quickly arrested Chiao Angzan. Chiao Angzan struggled hard and looked at Chiao Mian with malicious eyes. While struggling, she cursed viciously, Chiao Mian, don't be complacent. Do you think you will win? Do you think everything will go according to your wishes in the future? Is that what you want? I tell you, you will not end well. My today is your tomorrow. No, you will be 100 times, 1,000 times worse than me. Shut her mouth. Mrs. Bai was so angry that her whole body was shaking. The bodyguard immediately stuffed Chiao Angzan's mouth with something, held her and forcibly took her away. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1274. Chapter 1274. Everything is revealed. A few seconds later, the silence finally returned to the hall. Mom, don't be angry again. Be careful of anger damaging your health. Bai Yisheng asked the servant to make a cup of tea, and then walked to Mrs. Bai with the tea. Mom, drink some tea to calm down the fire. He handed the tea cup to Mrs. Bai. Mrs. Bai didn't answer. She turned her head and looked at Chiao Mian with tears in her eyes. Mian Madame Bai's hand holding her was trembling, and her voice was trembling. She was so excited that her voice changed its tone. I knew you must be Zioki. God has been so kind to me, and finally let me got you. The identification results have not yet come out. But the result is no longer important. Now everything is clear. That blood belongs to Chiao Mian. As long as the identification results are correct, then Chiao Mian is the real bloodline of the Bai family. Chiao Mian was stunned and looked at Madame Bai blankly. She also heard what Chiao Angzan said just now. She never thought that she would really be the daughter of the Bai family, Mrs. Bai's daughter. She would never have imagined in her wildest dreams that neither she nor Jiao Chen were children of the Jiao family. One of them is from the Mo family and the other is from the Bai family. Out of the 3 children of the Jiao family, 2 are adopted. She has always known that she looks nothing like Jiao Chen, nor does she look like Jiao Angzhen. She is not like Father Jiao and Mother Jiao. She had doubts about this, but she never thought that the truth would be like this. Mrs. Bai was already crying. She stretched out her hand to hug her who was still stunned. She cried sadly while holding her, "Xiao Qi, my Xiao Qi, mother finally found you. Xiao Qi, you know, I have been thinking about you every day these years. I wonder if you are living well, what you will be like when you grow up, and whether you will regret knowing that I sent you away. Me, blame me. Xiao Qi, it was my mother who was sorry for you in the first place. It was my mother who caused us to be separated for so many years. Sorry, sorry." Mrs. Bai cried until her whole body was shaking. Mom Bai Yisheng frowned, walked over, and gently pressed a hand on Mrs. Bai's shoulder. "Stop crying, you are making Mian don't know what to do. Mian finally recognized us. This is something that the family should be happy about. Why are you crying like this?" "I'm so happy." Mrs. Bai raised her head with sobs, her eyes were red and swollen from crying. "I'm just so happy, that's why I cried with joy. We have been searching for more than 10 years before we finally found your sister. Could it be that are you unhappy?" Bai Yisheng was a little helpless. "Of course I'm happy. But, it seems to me that you are not happy at all. You don't even show that you are very happy. There is no expression on your face at all. Are you happy?" "Bai Yisheng. Mom, happiness doesn't have to be shown on your face. You don't show it on your face now. When do you want to show it on your face? If you do this, Xiaoqi will feel that you don't welcome her. Bai Yisheng. If you make Xiaoqi sad and think we don't like her, I have no fun with you." Bai Yisheng was almost amused by Mrs. Bai. He knows how much his mother likes her daughter, and he also knows how much his mother wants to find this sister. Otherwise, we wouldn't have given up after searching for more than 10 years. But this reaction is too big now. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1275. Chapter 1275. Give her some time. Crying like a 3-year-old child. He hasn't seen his mother cry like this for a long time. He is really full of snot and tears, and there is no trace of elegance and dignity at all. "Mom, I think you should let go of Mian first." Bai Yisheng's lips twitched. Looking at Jiao Mian who was helpless in Madame Bai's arms, he felt funny again. "What you did just now scared Mian. You'd better let Mian calm down for a while." Mrs. Bai was stunned, and raised her head with sobs. Then he saw Jiao Mian's confused and helpless expression. Obviously, compared to Mrs. Bai's excitement and joy at this time, she did not cry with joy like Mrs. Bai because the mother and daughter recognized each other, nor did she feel the grievance, sadness that she felt after being separated from her mother for more than 10 years. She felt more confused, not knowing how to deal with the current situation. She has lived in Jiao's family for more than 10 years. She always thought that she was from the Jiao family and the daughter of Jiao Ruhe. Suddenly one day, someone told her that she had no blood relationship with the Jiao family. Her biological parents are actually someone else. This was too sudden and unexpected for her. So at this moment, Jiao Mian didn't feel much joy in her true mood. She could not have the same mood as Mrs. Bai. For her, this was something that she could not fully accept for a while. Mian, did I really scare you?" Mrs. Bai had a cautious expression on her face, as if she was really scared. "I'm sorry, Mom is just too happy." Mom's reaction just now was a bit too excited. You, please talk. Having just recognized her daughter, Mrs. Bai was so careful that before she said a word, she had to think about whether it was appropriate to say it. She became anxious when she saw Xiao Mian just looking at her blankly and not saying anything. Mian, did your mother say something that you shouldn't have said, and are you unhappy? Mrs. Bai looked nervous. No, it's not. Xiao Mian looked at Mrs. Bai's anxious look and finally came to her senses, and, no, you didn't say anything to make me angry. Are you still calling me aunt? Mrs. Bai's eyes were a little sad. I. Xiao Mian opened her mouth, not knowing what to say. She couldn't bear to see Mrs. Bai lost. However, she really can't say mom now. She likes Mrs. Bai. But this is different from letting her immediately recognize Mrs. Bai as her mother. Mom, you are too impatient. Bai Yisheng looked on and saw that Xiao Mian could not accept this matter for a while. He advised Mrs. Bai, you have to give Mian some time. This matter is too important for her. Too suddenly. Aunt Bai. Mo Yesi watched for a while, then slowly walked to Xiao Mian, stretched out his hand to touch her head. This incident is indeed too sudden for Mian. I also hope Aunt Bai won't let her do it now. Make a decision and give her some time to think it through. After all, this is no small matter. Mrs. Bai was immersed in the great joy of finding her daughter, and she had no time to think about anything else. She had only one thought in her mind just now. She just wanted to recognize Xiao Mian immediately and take Xiao Mian back to the Bai family. Slowly calming down now, she also gradually regained some sense. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1276. Chapter 1276. Why are you staring at Mian? She was indeed too impatient. It seems that her Xiaoqi was really frightened. I'm sorry, Xiaoqi, it's mom who's too impatient. Madame Bai immediately let go, but couldn't bear to look away from Xiao Mian. Okay, listen to Yisheng and Yesi, I'm not in a hurry. You think about it slowly. Think about it slowly. Xiao Mian raised her head blankly and looked at Mo Yesi. Mian, you don't have to think about anything now. Mo Yesi touched her head again, took her hand and pulled her up. It's still what I said before, no matter what you choose, I will support you. No one will force you. You are free to choose whatever you want. Right. Bai Yisheng's eyes were soft and he said, Mian, no matter what choice you make, we can understand it. Okay, let's not discuss this matter now. Let's have dinner first, okay? Let's talk about everything after dinner. I heard that my mother cooked a delicious meal today. Even I haven't eaten her cooking for several years. Today's meal is still thanks to you. Yes, Mian. Mrs. Bai quickly stood up and echoed, the meal is ready, and it's getting late now. Let's eat first. Xiao Mian looked at Mo Yesi, who nodded lightly towards her. She grabbed Mo Yesi's hand tightly, and under Mrs. Bai's nervous and expectant eyes, she nodded lightly, okay. Mrs. Bai's face immediately showed joy, and she immediately hired a maid to help. Asterisk. Although Mrs. Bai rarely cooks, her cooking skills are really good. A large table of dishes of all kinds, all delicious and delicious. She sat next to Xiao Mian, her eyes always paying attention to Xiao Mian. While eating. If Xiao Mian's eyes stayed on any dish for a few seconds, she would immediately pick up the dish and put it into Xiao Mian's bowl. As a result, Xiao Mian only ate the dishes in front of her and was too embarrassed to look at other dishes. Every time she ate a dish, Mrs. Bai would ask her how it tasted and whether she liked it. During the whole meal, Mrs. by herself didn't eat anything at all, she just watched Jiao Mian eat. Mom, you should eat it yourself. Bai Yusheng couldn't stand it anymore and put a few vegetables into Mrs. Bai's bowl. Why are you staring at Mian Mian? Mian is already stressed when eating like this. Mrs. Bai was cheerful. She turned her head and glared at Bai Yusheng with a smile. Mian is beautiful, why should I take a few more glances? Don't worry about me, I'm not hungry, and I can't starve myself. Bai Yusheng stretched out his hand to touch his forehead, with a look of helplessness on his face. Mian, don't you like eating these shrimps very much? I never saw you eating them again. Mrs. Bai slowly discovered that Jiao Mian only ate the few dishes in front of her and didn't touch the others. Yes, are you tired of eating? No, the dishes cooked by Auntie are delicious. I'm not tired of them. I'm just full. Jiao Mian pursed her lips. When she called Auntie, she saw a twinkle in Mrs. Bai's eyes. After a moment of loss, she also knew that now that all the truth was revealed, there was no doubt that she was the daughter of the Bai family. Mrs. Bai is her biological mother. As mother and daughter recognize each other, she should change her story. Just for a moment, she really couldn't shout. Mrs. Bai is indeed a little disappointed. She had been looking for her for more than 10 years before she recognized the daughter she had missed day and night. Naturally, she wanted to recognize her mother and daughter right away. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1277. Chapter 1277. She especially wants to make amends now. But she also knew that for Jiao Mian, her biological mother was just a little more familiar than a stranger. To ask Jiao Mian to change her story now is to embarrass her. But I understand the truth, but I still feel a little disappointed. You are full after eating so little. No wonder you are so thin, Mrs. Bai said with a bit of distress in her eyes. Mian, are you really full? Is it because you artists have to keep in shape, so you can't eat more? Why do you eat so little? No, Auntie, I'm really full. Jiao Mian felt that she had actually eaten a lot, because she thought that Mrs. Bai had been busy for a long time to make this table, so she had tasted every dish. Jiao Mian couldn't bear to see Mrs. Bai's somewhat disappointed look. She immediately said, my aunt's cooking is delicious. I like every dish. It's just that I don't eat much and have a small appetite, so I can't eat much. I'm really full. You're so thin, Mrs. Bai sighed. If you come and live with me for a month, I'll make sure you gain a lot of meat. I'll cook whatever you like to eat every day. Jiao Mian pursed her lips and remained silent. Mrs. Bai sighed softly again. Forget it, there's no rush. Now that my daughter has been found, there is no need to rush into many things. If you push too hard and force the person to run away, the gain will outweigh the loss. She shouldn't be too greedy. God has mercy on her, and it is already a special gift for them to recognize each other as mother and daughter. As for the rest, she shouldn't ask for too much. Too greedy, she is afraid that God will take back everything that has been given to her. Asterisk. Having eaten, Mrs. Bai also wanted to keep Jiao Mian, but Bai Yusheng stopped her. Mom, it's getting late. Mian and ACI have other things to do, so they have to go back. If there's anything else, let's talk about it another day. Mrs. Bai was obviously very reluctant to let Jiao Mian go. Mother and daughter have just recognized each other. She still has many things she wants to say to her daughter. She wished that Jiao Mian could live in the Bai family. In this way, mother and daughter can be together every day. Mrs. Bai felt that she owed Jiao Mian a lot. She failed to fulfill the duties of a mother and failed to give her daughter the maternal love she deserved. She particularly wants to make amends now. That Mian. She looked at Jiao Mian with reluctance in her eyes. If I miss you, can I visit you? Will you come to see me again in the future? She asked cautiously. After asking, he waited nervously and anxiously for Chiao Mianmian's answer. Auntie, of course you can. Chiao Mianmian's mood was also very complicated at this time. She looked at Mrs. Bai's cautious look for fear that she would refuse, and she couldn't help but feel a little sad and a little intolerable. According to Mrs. Bai, she had no choice but to do what happened back then. She was not wrong, she just wanted to save her daughter's life. Chiao Mianmian did not blame Mrs. Bai for sending her away. She thought about it and thought that if she were in such a situation, she would do the same thing. She doesn't blame Mrs. Bai. She just hasn't fully accepted this matter yet, and she doesn't know how to get along with Mrs. Bai in the future. Mrs. Bai waited carefully and nervously for her answer. When she heard that she didn't refuse, a smile appeared on her face. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1278. Chapter 1278. Is she going a little too far? She hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward and took Chiao Mianmian's hand, holding her hand tightly. Mianmian, you really didn't blame me? Do you really understand what I did back then? Mrs. Bai was still worried after all. She was afraid that Chiao Mianmian might say he didn't mind on the surface, but in his heart he would blame her for sending her away in the first place. She was very frightened and her daughter refused to recognize her. Yet Chiao Mianmian nodded. Auntie, I really didn't blame you. I know that everything you did was for my own good. You had no choice back then, so I can understand it. That's good, Mrs. Bai said, her eyes getting wet again, as long as you don't blame me. Mian, I know you can't accept these things right now, so I won't force you. You can go back and think about it slowly. However, no matter what you think in the end, I still hope that you can give me, a mother, a chance to make amends. Even if you are unwilling to recognize me, at least give me a chance to make amends to you. Otherwise, I will have a bad conscience for the rest of my life. Asterisk. Leave from the Bai family. Chiao Mianmian sat in the car and waited for the car to drive some distance away. She turned her head and looked out the car window, and she could still see Mrs. Bai standing there watching them leave. She looked at it for a while, then looked away with a complicated mood. What are you thinking about? Beside her, Mo also looked at her gaze, stretched out his hand to gently pull her into his arms, and gently rubbed the top of her hair as if to comfort her. Chiao Mianmian leaned against his chest and listened to his steady and powerful heartbeat. She was silent and said with some discomfort in her heart, Mo, I suddenly feel a little uncomfortable. Tell me, did I go too far? Ah. She could see how reluctant Mrs. Bai was to give up. She could also see that Mrs. Bai was feeling uncomfortable. She knew that Mrs. Bai wanted to recognize her daughter immediately. At that moment, I saw Mrs. Bai standing motionless and watching them. Even though their car had driven far away and she could no longer be seen from that position, she still didn't leave. At that moment, she was wondering if she had gone too far. Why do you feel so sad? Moses gently stroked the silky long hair of the girl in his arms and asked softly in a low voice. I just feel uncomfortable. I feel, Aunt Bai seems a little pitiful. I'm wondering if I've gone too far. Should I not treat her the right way? But Chiao Mianmian raised her head, with a trace of confusion in her dark eyes. He said, ask me to get to know her right away, but I'm not ready yet. Moses, do you know? Actually, my mother is also very good to me, she is my adoptive mother. She really loves me very much, and I love her very much. So now. She didn't know how to express her feelings. But Moses understood. He knew what she wanted to say. The man pondered for a few seconds and ran his slender fingers through her hair. Do you think you will be sorry for your adoptive mother if you recognize Aunt Bai? Chiao Mian was silent for a moment. This is one of the reasons. I just think Aunt Bai is a very kind and gentle elder to me, and I like her too, but if she suddenly becomes my mother, I will feel strange. But when you see her sad, you can't bear it anymore. The Bai family has been looking for you for more than 10 years and finally found you. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1279. Chapter 1279. The most beautiful and touching love words. Aunt Bai and Bai Yasheng liked you so much before, they must really want to recognize you. Mian, I won't analyze this matter for you, you should think about it yourself. This can be regarded as one of the major events in Chiao Mian's life. It is up to her to decide. Chiao Mian still looked confused. I don't know either. Then think slowly, don't be in a hurry. Mo Yesi touched her head again and said softly, whether you want to go back to the Bai family or not, I will always stay with you. Chiao Mian raised her head and met the man's gentle and doting eyes. She pursed her lips and asked in a low voice, Mo Yesi, if I go back to the Bai family and become a member of the Bai family in the future, will you be missing something, a lot of worries? If I become Aunt Bai's daughter, then I will be the daughter of the Bai family. The Chiao family has a lower family background, but they are higher up than the Mo family. The Bai family and the Mo family are equally matched. At that time, my mother will not think that we are not a good match because of my family background. You won't have to be caught between two ends in the future. Is that what you think? Mo Yesi was stunned for a moment, and placed his big hand on the top of her hair. Well, if you return to the Bai family and become Aunt Bai's daughter, my mother will not be dissatisfied with your identity. This can indeed reduce some internal conflicts within the family. But, honey. The man paused for a moment, looked at her gently, and continued, I don't need you to do this for me. I hope that when you make a decision, you only consider yourself. You remember? He reached out and pinched Chiao Mian's chin, raised her head up, stared at her with his deep black eyes, and said word by word, you are my wife, Mo Yesi. From the moment we received the marriage certificate, it's going to last a lifetime. From now on, you will live with me, not with my family. It's best if they like you. If someone doesn't like you, that's okay. Remember, as long as your husband loves you, nothing else matters. Chiao Mian looked at him blankly, her heartbeat speeding up uncontrollably. Then what if one day you don't love me anymore? This day will never happen. Mo Yesi's eyes were serious and he said as if he was taking an oath, this day will never come to pass. Even if I die, my soul will still love you. Chiao Mian, you can doubt many things about me, but you can't doubt that I love you. Chiao Mian's face felt a little hot. When the man said I love you, her heart beat wildly. She was thinking that it turned out that the most beautiful and touching love words in the world were really I love you. Asterisk. The other side. Mom, go in. You can't see anything anymore. Why are you standing here looking at it? Bai Yasheng gently put a hand on Bai's shoulder, held her in his arms and turned around to go back. Yusheng. Bai walked a few steps and stopped, with a look of sadness and a bit of loss on her face. She turned around, her eyes were still red, and her voice was still choked. Tell me, Mian, is she blaming me? She refuses to forgive me and refuses to recognize me as her mother. Mom, don't think too much. Bai Yasheng comforted her patiently. Didn't Mian say she didn't blame you? She said it, Bai said sadly, but maybe she just said it and didn't want to embarrass everyone. But she still blamed me in her heart. If she didn't blame me, how could she be right all of a sudden? I'm rusty. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1280. Chapter 1280. There must be no one with better conditions than him. Obviously, she was very close to me before. She's not unfamiliar with you because she blames you. She just suddenly found out about her relationship with our Bai family and couldn't accept it for a while. Bai Yusheng looked at MRS Bai's sad look and sighed softly, "Mom, you too impatient. You have to give me an adaptation period. You expect her to accept us right away, return to the Bai family, and become a loving family with us. How is this possible? Xiao Angzhen is very willing to do this. Isn't she a fake? Now that we have found Mian, why are you anxious? You have endured it for more than 10 years, and now you can't bear it anymore." I understand what you are saying. MRS Bai had worries in her eyes, obviously not listening to his persuasive words, but what if Mian resents your father and me in her heart, and she refuses to recognize us and doesn't want to come back? Manage. Bai Yusheng thought openly, if she doesn't want to, then respect her decision. After all, when you gave her away, you didn't ask her if she was willing. Now that you want to take her back, do you still have to ignore her wishes? To take people back by force? MRS Bai was anxious, she was still a little baby, how could I ask her if she was willing? Mom, don't worry. Bai Yusheng pressed her shoulder gently, I'm just giving you an example. What I mean is that we have to respect Mian's decision. Just because the Bai family already owes her a lot, so I can't do anything to make her unhappy. From now on, whatever she likes, then that's it. Everything went according to her wishes. In fact, for us, it is a comfort to see that Xiaoqi is living a good and happy life now. How is she living a good life? MRS Bai's face darkened when she thought of Xiao Angzhen. I asked someone to inquire about it. Ever since her adoptive mother passed away, her stepmother and stepsister have been bullying her. These years, how wronged my Xiaoqi has been. But she is happy now. Bai Yusheng curled her lips, she is married to the second son of the Mo family. Even if she does not return to the Bai family, with Mo Yesi protecting her, who would dare to bully her? What did you say? MRS Bai's eyes widened. Who did you say Xiaoqi married? Mom, Mian and Mo Yesi are married. What, Xiaoqi and Mo Yesi are already married? Well, I only found out about this today. MRS Bai looked shocked. After a while, she came back to her senses, but, Xiaoqi is still so young, how can she get married? I still want to give her a good choice, and I will definitely choose a good husband who loves her and loves her. Why did she get married? MRS Bai seems to be a little unable to accept this matter. Bai Yusheng said with a smile, Mom, what else are you picking? Looking at Yunchinj, can you find a better man than your son-in-law? Of course, except your son, but Mian and I are brother and sister. Mo Yesi is top-notch in terms of family background, appearance, and personal ability. If you really want to choose, you will definitely not be able to choose someone with better conditions than him. MRS Bai was speechless for a moment. Because she thought about it carefully and realized that this was really the case. The two children of the Mo family are definitely the two best off among the unmarried young men in the circle. The conditions of those she picked out must not be as good as theirs. End of this chapter.